All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the CodeHS Georgia Middle School Pathway Grades 6 through 8 session. I'm going to introduce the two speakers for today. First, we have originally from New York, Jennifer, who comes to CodeHS with over 10 years teaching experience. She has a master's in education and is now based in the beautiful Savannah, Georgia area. She enjoys the laid-back southern lifestyle and exploring new places. The beach is her happy place. And then we have Evelyn, has been on CodeHS team for 4 years, and in this time she has developed computer science curriculum and professional development to help schools and districts all over the world build their computer science programs. Before coming to CodeHS, she was a math teacher and robotics coach. She lives in Oakland, California, and loves running, reading, and movies. So welcome the two speakers. And Bianca, do you want to introduce yourself? Because I don't know if I had your bio. So if you want to do that quickly, because that's why I'm a little confused. So introduce yourself and get started from there.
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. My name is Bianca. I'm a customer success manager here at CodeHS. I was a middle school teacher for about 4 years before. Born and raised in Georgia, live in Atlanta, and what I love about working at CodeHS is I'm able to work with a lot of schools and teachers and bring computer science in the classrooms.
All right, well, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to start off the presentation and then Bianca will take over halfway through. We have, or at least me and Bianca, we have a soft spot for Georgia because I lived in Georgia. Well, I'm still living in Georgia now, going on 11 years. I taught in Georgia. I taught in Pebblebrook. That was my first teaching job ever. And then I ended up going to online teaching and I taught for Georgia Connections for a while as well. I did teach math. I am certified to teach computer science, but you know, everyone needs math teachers. So I never actually got that computer science class. They just had me teach math all the time, which is why I came to CodeHS. And now I love working with computer science and computer science teachers. While we give it like one more minute and I have it in the chat, so I don't have to stay on this slide here. But before you start, if you could sign up for a CodeHS teacher account. I gave a link later on last time and the teachers ended up getting a student account by accident. So I want to make sure that you guys get a teacher account and we'll use it today to kind of see our materials for Georgia middle school courses. And I'm going to go, Bianca's here. She'll answer anything in the chat. Please make sure if you have any questions, post them in the chat. But I'm going to go to this slide, so I won't be able to see the chat for a little bit. And go to the next slide. There we go. All right, so these are your three speakers. Evelyn may pop in, she may not. So it's definitely me and Bianca at the very least. And this is what we'll go over to today. So I want to go over just the Georgia middle school courses, what we know about them. And then we have two course overviews. So we do have two courses fleshed out for Georgia specifically. We have the Foundations of Secure Information Systems and then the Foundations of Computer Program. So I'll go over a brief overview of these courses too and let you know what's in there. And then I'm going to let you get your hands dirty. So I'll actually have a course set up that'll give you like a sample lesson of each of these. So we'll give you a few minutes to go through some of the activities as if you were a student. So I'll get to play the teacher for a little bit and bring you through a lesson or two. And then after that, we'll go over some of the teacher tools that CodeHS, if you've never used CodeHS before, we'll go over some of the stuff that CodeHS offers to help you through things. And of course, we'll leave some time for Q&A. All right, so the Georgia Middle School computer science courses, we know that they're for 6th, 7th, or 8th graders, and it's like a 9-week rotation. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how we understand it. So we do have information, or we have a full out aligned course for Foundations of Systems and Foundations of Computer Programming. We don't have that interactive design one per se. We do have a video game design course, but it is more directed towards high schoolers. But if you want to use our materials, you probably could use some of the course and just have some scaffolding and like helping the students through it. But we don't have a course for that as of yet. All right, so here's the overview. These are going to be real quick overviews, and then we'll get into the actual lessons. So the Secure Information Systems course overview, we have 5 different modules. And it is only 3 modules of information because it is only 9 weeks. And then it's 2 projects. So it starts off with the computer basics and then goes into networking. And then we have a project for students where they act as a IT specialist, and they do some troubleshooting, and they go through the troubleshooting methodology and all of that in that first project. And then we switch gears a bit and do some cybersecurity and digital citizenship. We hit on cyberbullying and all of that. And then we have the project, the public service announcement. So we have students create a flyer or slides or some graphical visual product that they can kind of recap the stuff that they've learned in that cybersecurity digital citizenship. It is 97% aligned. So we are missing one standard. If you're curious as to which one it is, it's the one about topologies. And we do have plans to add that in, the different network topologies. We just don't have it as of today. Computer programming. So the Foundations of Computer Programming course overview. This one's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So what we have here is we have what is computing, which is just the more general knowledge, I guess. And then we have a project where students build their own computer models. But after that, we have Tracy the Turtle, and that is Python. The language used there is Python. And we did that for a few reasons. We also have a lot of high school Georgia courses. So we have the IDT course, the Introduction to Digital Technology, and that one's in JavaScript. So we didn't want things overlapping if you wanted to use this from middle school to high school. So in this course, we used Python and Tracy the Turtle. And the students really like using it. It's very visual and you can draw and stuff like that. And we'll take a look at one of those lessons in a little bit. And then of course we got the projects. We got the computer models project, and then we have a pair programming paint project. So we can actually have Tracy the Turtle kind of paint a little bit, and students will work together and create some sort of graphic. And this one is 93% aligned. We're missing 2. And the 2 that we're missing are ones that we can't really hit within our environment. So one of them is like physically taking apart the computer. You can add that one on, but we can't, you can do like an online, virtual one or something like that, I guess. And then the other one we're missing is building something that senses something in the real world. So basically 2 things that you kind of want to take offline anyway and do kind of more physical. All right, we are going to get into the workshop. Like I said, we're going to get right into it and get into the courses. Do we have any questions yet? We're asking about downloading the presentation. I think they put that together somehow for you. And then Ryan, good question. So Tracy the Turtle module will overlap with the Turtle module from Python. Yes, so we do have a few different ways that you can go about this. So we do also have, so there is a course for anyone who's not aware of what he's talking about. There is a course, Computer Science in Python. We also have a Computer Science in JavaScript. So you could just choose to do a different language. Or what you could do is when, if you have the same group of students, you can just go deeper into Python instead of repeating the same module. So within our LMS, you can actually swap out stuff and put in stuff. So we have a lot of supplemental materials. So if you do want to still just continue on with Python in a future course, you definitely can. And then maybe just do the challenges or the extra practices. And then students won't be repeating material. All right, so I am going to let you know how to sign up for this workshop. And I'll give you a few minutes to do it. So let me see. I'm going to try to paste this in there for you. So you want to go to this link and then put in that class code. And I'll give you just a few minutes to get yourself in there. Let me know if you run into any difficulties.
I can put the link in.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to find it. And I was like, gosh, just too many tabs open. And just to help us as well, if you don't all have to do it, but if some of you get in, just let me know that you got in by giving me a smiley face or I got in, or just to make sure it's working. Awesome, thank you. And if you don't have an account, it will make you create an account, but hopefully you did the teacher account at the very beginning. And that would be the difference. It didn't ask for the code, then you might have the account. I know that happened to me earlier as well, where it didn't ask for the code, it just enrolled me automatically. Hopefully that's maybe what it did. Okay, when you do get in, I'll show you what it looks like. So when you do get in, let me stop sharing this screen and I'll share something else. It should look like this. And then once you click on this Georgia Middle School Workshop, you should get to this. And there's only, like I said, 2 modules and 2 lessons. Let me know if anyone needs help getting to this screen. All right, and I didn't want to overwhelm you and put everything in. And then I also wanted to just kind of simplify it so that we're all working on the same lessons. So we are going to go through this almost as a normal class would. We'll go through the slides. We'll go through, I'm going to try to see, actually, let me reshare this. I'm going to see if I can share I'll reshare when I get to it. I'm going to see if I can play one of the videos for you. And we'll go through it almost like a regular course. And then I'll give you a few minutes to try the examples on your own as well. Okay, so for programming with Turtle, this Tracy Turtles is actually flip-flopped than how it was in the slides, but this is the foundations of computer programming. I think this is such a great course for middle school students. So we're going to click on this first. And if you've never done CodeHS before, the way this works is we have modules. So modules are like units, chapters, or whatever you call it. And then if you click on it, it opens up to lessons. There'll normally be a whole lot more lessons, but like I said, I made it so that it's nice and simplified. And then if you click on this, it will show you all of the assignments within that lesson. So we always start with a video, and the video you can play as a video, or you can just choose to display slides and teach it yourself. We'll do a little of each today. And then it's followed with a quiz. Now the quiz is just for it's like a check for understanding. It's to make sure the students watched the video and to make sure they took out the important information. So the questions themselves are not too difficult. It basically is just to make sure that they did, got what they were supposed to out of the video. The examples are just there where all they have to do is hit this run code button and see how it works. And then they're allowed to play with the code and just mess around and have fun with the stuff that's in there. And then the exercises is what will come to you as a teacher that you'll want to grade. We do have auto graders as well. And auto graders do catch a lot, but sometimes you do want to just make sure and have it sent to you anyway, so you can make sure that naming conventions are good, or they could make it work, but it'd be 17 pages long. Maybe there's a more efficient way to do it, So you still want to, even though we have the auto graders, you still want to check on some of these. All right, so I'm going to, if you want to just stick with me for now, and I'll let you explore in a little bit, stick on my screen, and I'm going to go to the video, and at first we'll use slides. So let's say me as a teacher, I kind of know what I'm doing. We're going to do slides, and we'll go through it. Now, this is not the first lesson, so I may have to bring you up to speed if you've never used Tracy before. So Tracy does live in a grid world. What you missed in the previous lesson, let's say you were absent. So what you missed in the previous lesson were a few of the beginning commands. So Tracy has a command called circle, where she will draw a circle. She also has a command forward, where she'll move forward. And forward, in her case, is whichever way she's facing. And now you're caught up. So Tracy does live in a grid world. And of course, math teacher me loves this lesson. So this is kind of cross-curricular, as you could too. So this little dot right here would be 100 on the X, 100 on the Y. And Tracy always starts at 0, 0. So Tracy's always going to start right in the middle there. And it goes from -200 to +200. So I'm going to actually ask you guys a question. What does this mean for the width of the grid? How wide is this grid for Tracy? Thank you. Yes, I'm all about participation. Awesome. Yes. So it is 400 units wide. And then same with, looks like the up and down, right? It's going to be a square of 400 units. So it goes from positive, negative 200 to positive 200 on the y-axis as well. So to help you through, it is like an xy coordinate, exactly like an xy coordinate that you may have learned in math. So this corner would be negative 200, 200. This corner would be negative 200, negative 200. What do you guys think of the top right corner? What might the coordinates be of the top right corner? Yep. Good job, Mayum. Good job, Vicky. Yep. So that would be 200, 200. And then the last corner will be 200, negative 200. So that's Tracy's grid world. And like we said, it's 400 pixels that way. Pixels is a better word. I think I used units before. And 400 pixels that way. So we do have a new command today. So last lesson we've learned forward. So you put the distance in as the input in that in the two parentheses. So it will move Tracy forward a specific distance. So there's an example here. If we put forward 100, Tracy's going to move and write forward a line for 100 pixels. We also have a backwards. So Tracy will move backwards in the same way. So you have to put the input in there. We also have two new commands. So pen up and pen down. So pen up is going to stop Tracy from leaving a trail. We're going to try to use these two commands in today's lesson. And then pen down has Tracy start drawing a tail. An important note is that Tracy always starts with her pen down. So if you don't want her, if you wanted to just move across the screen and get to a spot before she starts drawing, you have to use that pen up command. All right, so we do have an example. Now I'm going to try and see if this works. I'm going to actually switch to the video now because in the slides, we have a live coding example, but in the slides, that's not available. So you might want to use the video for something like this, or you could do the live coding yourself as well. But I'm going to try this. Let's see. I'm going to come back in a second, and because I did see an option where I could share my computer on my audio. All right, let's see if this works. So I'll start the video, but I'll kind of fast forward it to the live coding part. If it doesn't work, let me know.
Hi. Before we start writing this code, I want to show
you
you a really helpful tab we have available in our code editor, the example or exercise tab. The directions for the challenge and the result you are trying to get to will be shown here. You can leave this tab open while you write your code, so you can refer back while you decide about how to go about solving it. When you're ready to test your code, simply hit the Run Code tab, and you're ready to check if you found a solution. Okay, let's write some code. We want Tracy to start at the left side and not leave a trail. So I need to start my code by writing pen up and backward 200. How do I know that she needs to move 200 pixels to get to the left side of the canvas? We know Tracy starts at point 0, 0, and that the x-axis goes from negative 200 to positive 200. Let's check if we're right. Perfect. The next thing I want Tracy to do is draw a line that is 100 pixels long. To make Tracy leave a trail as she moves, I need to put the pen down. So I can write pen down and forward 100. Now she's drawn the first dash. I need her to move forward again, but not leave a trail this time. So I'm going to add pen up and forward 100. Let's try this. That's great. I need Tracy to repeat this to the end of the canvas. She has moved 200 pixels so far, and the canvas is 400 pixels wide. So I need to repeat this one more time. I can copy and paste these commands. To tell her to do them again. Let's see if this worked. Perfect. In this lesson, we learned about the grid world Tracy lives in and how to use the backward, pen up, and pen down commands. Now it's your turn to use these Tracy commands to solve some coding challenges.
All right, sorry for the echo there. All right, so we are going to, I'm going to give you a few minutes and you're going to try this on your own. So let me go back and show you how to get there. So if you are, let me get back. Okay, let me just go to continue. Oh, don't look at the answers. I'm going to have you try this on your own. So there is a quiz. And then if you look down here, you can get through. This is when you click into any of the assignments. Once you click into any of the assignments, you can move around from assignment to assignment down at this bottom here. So what I want you to do is, this is the example that she just showed us. That was Julia, our another curriculum developer. And you have the run code and everything that she has done is right here for you to play around with. And then there's two exercises. So there's one where you are going to create a shorter dash line and a caterpillar. Now, caterpillar, you'll need the circle. So don't forget we have that circle command. One more thing that students like to use and that you have available to you as well is this docs tab. So the docs tab is going to give you all of the commands that you can use. So here's the circle that we talked about. So the circle, you do need an input, and that is, I believe it's the radius. Does it say? So I'm going to actually just be quiet for now, and I'll help you in the chat, and we'll give you a good 5 minutes to kind of play around with these, and then let us know how it goes. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. I know that caterpillar one is tough. Did anyone get the shorter dash line? And I'll go over some of it in a few minutes as well. All right, let's bring it back in here just for a bit. What do you guys think? Let's give us some feedback. Can you see your students having fun doing this? What kind of challenges do you maybe see? Did you guys enjoy? I love doing these. I feel like it's very puzzly. Like it's just like solving puzzles. Yes, Ryan. So yes. So if it's a middle school student, this would probably be the first time they see it. And then when you get to high school, you might have to differentiate a bit from students who may have seen this already. But we have tons of extra resources to do that. Bianca would know about the resetting. I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, that progress for students.
Because either way, you might want to review depending on when they took it in middle school and when they're taking it in high school. And Sunshine, I did see your question. We'll absolutely touch on that in a bit. I did want to show you guys just a few more things while I'm in here, and then we'll get to a sample lesson from the next one. So if you notice, there is a check code, there's test cases, assignment. That's where you can see what you're actually supposed to be doing. This one's a big one that students will probably want to access. And then the test cases is the auto graders. This is where you see the test cases from the auto graders. So it'll tell the student what they're missing basically, and then how they can fix it. So if you do have, I think if I hit undo, it'll pop back up. Ta-da! And run it. And if they get it all right, now when they check code, they'll see all greens and they'll know to submit it. And then, like I said, you might still want to check it because they can do a whole bunch of different things in here and still get the right answer. Like yours might even be different than mine. You may have found, a better way of doing it than I did. But you will have the ability to check these and, give them a grade and stuff. If anyone got to the caterpillar one and is just interested on what it looks like, students will have a lot of fun drawing caterpillars. Did I finish this one? I don't know if I finished that one. I did. Okay. So I did make the little caterpillar. And students just really enjoy this. All right. So now I want to just give you a sample lesson from the other one, the Foundations of Secure Information Systems. This one's a newer one. So to get back to that, if you are in the screen that I'm at, you can click here at this. It looks almost like a, what are those called? The rotodels? I don't even know what that icon is. And then go to the next lesson, which is software and applications. And if you want to stick with me on this screen for just a little bit, I'll go through the slides on this one. And so you know what the lesson is. And if you choose to do slides as a teacher, there are also speaker notes. So I never know if you can see this if it pops up, but it pops up with a whole bunch of speaker notes for each slide. So this helps you kind of know what to talk about for each slide. So this slide deck is all about software and applications. And I feel like middle school students will have a range of knowledge when it comes to this. Some will know a lot, some will know little. So we do have, some extensions to bring students further in these slides and these lessons. And of course, we'll want the scaffolding as well. We have enough information to get them started from the very beginning. So software is almost the same thing as saying like applications and programs. Hardware are the physical devices like a keyboard and a monitor. There are tons of different types of software. So we have productivity software, which of course help you do something. Collaboration software, which is going to connect you with others to collaborate on things. And then business software like to-do lists and stuff for like accounting and stuff like that. So productivity software, this would be something like a word processing software. And students may know like, the basics of this. But if you think about what was around before this and how this has made our life so much more efficient. So before word processing software, we would write on paper? Before spreadsheet software, we would have to keep a record book. I know when I was student teaching, my teacher that I was with still had a physical grade book. I don't know if anyone in the room has had a physical grade book, but I don't know how they did that. Like so much more work trying to calculate all this. So spreadsheet software has helped us with those kind of things. And then presentation software. Before we had PowerPoint, I guess you had to use these like presentation boards and just draw it out. And then we have web browsers as well, which we do have a lesson later on all about just the browsers. These are the main browsers. We're going to do a little, see how much you know. Let's gauge the audience. Can you guys name all of these icons? No, there's one I always have trouble with. What are the browsers that are available for us? And this would be fun to do with students too, to kind of gauge, to see where they are. Does anyone know what these icons are for? Opera, that's the one I always forget. Thank you, Elizabeth. No, we got the tough class today. Thanks, Vicky. Oh, yeah, no, actually, I was wrong. I thought we had the tough class, but it's because you guys were giving me all the answers. Yeah, very good. My favorite is Chrome. I'm a Chrome person. I don't know if anyone else has a favorite. Yeah, you're right. Ryan, you're definitely right. But does anyone even use Internet Explorer anymore? All right, so those are productivity software. We have collaboration software. And if you think about this, all of this before email, before conferencing, well, I guess before email, we had snail mail, right? We still have that. Conferencing, before conferencing, we had phone. And then before phone, who knows? I mean, still snail mail. Instant messaging, I mean, that's kind of still, I guess that would be like sending a postcard. And then online workspace and document sharing. Before we had this, we really just had to mail everything. So these have really changed. The software has changed just everything in the business world, classroom world. And then lastly, we have business software, where some of this may not be, if we're talking to students, this will definitely, it probably won't be, it won't look like anything that they are aware of. So this would be more, this would probably be the harder part of the lesson. But they have like accounting software, as QuickBooks and stuff, and they might know, they might be able to share something that their parents are working on. Now, this would be an example of kind of going further than you need. So we do include this to go further. The students they don't really need to know about the platforms, but I think it's very interesting in a way to hook them sometimes. So we do have single platform and cross-platform software. So single platform, and a platform would be like a Mac or Windows, even an Android or an iPhone. That's going to be a platform. So there's not many single platform softwares anymore. And everything I'm saying is in the speaker notes, so you guys will be fully prepared. Siri kind of was one at one point maybe, but Siri doesn't even really qualify. It's kind of a stretch to call it a single platform, because you can get Siri on your phone, but you can also get Siri now on your Mac laptops. So it's not really a single platform. Cross-platform would be something, a software that you can get on both Mac, both Windows, both Android, both iPhone. If you are a video gamer, which many middle schoolers may be, a good example, a good connection would be something like a game that's only available on Xbox 360, like Halo. Whereas if you have something like FIFA, you can play it on PS3 or Xbox 360. And there are advantages for being cross-platform. Obviously, you're going to have more people use your software, but there can be compatibility issues. So if you take a look at this, this was a Word document on a Mac that I sent to another computer that was Windows, but it lost a little bit of its original form because there are some Mac fonts that are not transferable to Windows. All right, so we're going to explore a little bit more about this. Now, I'm going to actually show you guys, this section in general is a bit different than like the programming ones. The programming ones are very, they're very structured. They're very structured, and that's probably all you'll have to do in that lesson. With these kind of lessons where it's more software and applications and stuff like that, we give you a little bit more flexibility, meaning that the entire lesson, like down here, may not be the whole 45 minutes. But we give you flexibility, and we give you, we also offer lesson plans that give suggestions on how to extend it. So we do have these simulations. I'm going to show you the simulation, then I'll send you off for a few minutes and let you play around with it. So we have these simulations because we want to try as best as possible to keep everything on our site web-based, and it'll make your life easier because it doesn't matter if you're on a Chromebook, it doesn't matter if you're on Windows or a Mac, everything will work the same because it's all web-based. So we do have these simulations to keep you on our site if you choose, if that's the way you choose. So there's two ways that students can see these simulations. The code is here. They don't have to touch it, but this is a good way of extending it if students are kind of interested on how things work. But you can hit run code and it'll just come up in this editor, or you can hit CHTML in a new window. Now I'm going to try the CHTML in a new window, but I don't know because I'm only sharing the tab. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see. No, I don't think you can see it. So I'll just show it to you here, but it works much better if you do the CHTML in a new window. So we have just a few like sample simulations. So this is like an Excel sheet. It's not fully functional, but it gives the students something to click around with, something that's interactive, something that they can reflect on after trying to, check it out a little bit. So we have that one. We also have a messaging simulation. Right, so they can click in here and it all kind of works. And they each have their own. So if they like whatever they write on this one is not going to affect someone else's students, another student's version of it. So they all have their own separate version of this. And then the last one would be like a business software as a Kanban board. This one's my favorite. This one's actually a lot of fun. So students can kind of mess around with this and see a difference, different software and see what they do. And then they finally have a reflection. So since they've played around with those simulations, they'll have a reflection question, and this is what would come to you for you to grade. All right, so that was a lot, but I want you to be able to kind of play around with those simulations and play around, take the quiz, look at the slides, look at the reflection. So I will, again, just be quiet for a bit and let me know if you have any questions on this lesson or in general, and we'll add, we'll answer in the chat, but I'll be quiet for a few minutes and you'll want to check out this new lesson now. Oh, sorry if you got lost. This is the second, it's the second lesson. So second module. All right, so then no, there's a lot less than the Tracy one on this one, so I don't want to just hold off too much. We do have some resources that we'll share at the end of how the middle school courses kind of lead to the high school courses, and you'll be able to see all of these. So Evelyn's taking over, I think, right? You're going to take over. Evelyn's going to take over in a little bit and tell you about all the teacher tools. And then stick around for the end because we will absolutely, you can find them on the site, but we will absolutely give you all the Georgia resources that you'll need so you can see the entire course, go through the whole thing, all the curriculum's free. All right, so I'm going to pass it off to Evelyn and she will let you know some of the teacher tools that are included as well.
Awesome. So hi, everybody. Sorry I came to the session a little bit late, but I'm Evelyn. I'm the Director of Curriculum at CodeHS, and I'll be talking a little bit about the teacher side of things. So Jennifer did an awesome job showing you all what the student experience might look like, especially the virtual student experience, which is pretty relevant to today, things that we might be seeing. But I'm just going to take you through now what it would look like for you as a teacher to like set up a section and some of the tools that we have available. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, awesome. So I'm starting out just in the course catalog, and we can send out a link to this. But this is, if you have any questions about any courses that we have available, this is a great first place to look. So you can view any of our courses. You can view the units for the courses. You can look at the syllabus. You can either enroll yourself in the course or view the course. So if you want to check out any of the courses that we have available, you can just click enroll, and then it will allow you to check it out as a student and decide if that's something that you want to teach. And we also have this state filter right here. So actually I can look at all of the Georgia specific courses just by filtering by state. And if you have anybody, I think in our last session we had some Texas people, so you can also select other states and see what we have in terms of customs, like fully aligned state courses. So this is, the course catalog. This is where you can just check out what we have available. Now I'm going to show you on the teacher end of things what CodeHS looks like. So I'm just going to go to my teacher page. And you should see, if you have a teacher account, you can toggle between the student and teacher experience. And from the student experience, you can actually check out what it looks like to be a student in any of your existing sections. And so you don't have to create like a separate account to just check out like what's going on and what your students are seeing. You can just toggle to the student side, check out what the student view looks like, and then hop back into the teacher side to do any grading or tracking or anything like that. So how you create a new section, it's pretty easy. You just click this green Create New Section button, and you name your section. Oops. And then you can select any of your courses. So this is a course that I've already created. This would be if I'm already teaching, let's say you have period 1, period 2, period 3, you're teaching the same exact course, you can just select from up here. But let's actually look for, I want high school. I want the Georgia middle school course. I can do Foundations of Computer Programming. And it's going to create a brand new section that's enrolled in the Georgia Foundations course. All right, awesome. So this is, now I have this section that is ready for students to enroll in, and it's really easy for students to join. Basically, you can just send them this URL, and just like you all enrolled in Jennifer's section today, they just go to this URL, they enter the class code, and then you can see them enrolled in your course. So it's super easy, and you can get started. Students can get started like the first day, within 5 minutes of creating an account. I'll also be talking about the toolbox. So up here as a teacher, you should have access to this toolbox button. And you can see that there are just different sections. I'm going to just be talking about progress, resources, and code review. So starting off with progress, this is where you can, track how students are doing, who's completed what in your courses, and make decisions on instruction based on what you're seeing here. So we do have progress tracking by activity, lesson, or module. I'm going to look at activity. And I'm going to switch to a different period because I want to, I don't have any students right now. So now you have a list of all of the different activities, the videos, the quizzes, the exercises and examples that are in a specific course. And you have this key that you can basically use to understand, you know, have students completed it? Has it been sent back? So pink means that you've looked at the student work and you've sent it back as it needs more work and they need to, you know, go back and fix their mistakes and resubmit. Gray means that they haven't opened it yet. Yellow means that they've opened it but have not completed it yet. From the toolbox here, you also can set access controls and due dates. So this is really helpful to set like the pacing of your course. It is possible to teach CodeHS as kind of an independent self-paced class, but we really do recommend, you know, either creating student groupings and having different pacing goals set by like the different groups of students, or you know, actually having the full class kind of setting different checkpoints so that people are relatively together. And so you can basically set access controls and due dates, whether or not students have access, and then also let your students know when certain things are due. And you can do that either by individual student or by full class. I'm also going to talk about the resources here. So now we have a lot of teacher resources that are not available on the student side of things. So we have lesson plans, problem guides, handouts, glossaries, solutions. I'm just going to check out lesson plans. So I'm going to switch to Foundations of Computer Programming. So you see here, we have a list of all of the different lessons that are in a specific course, and we can click into them and see all of the resources that are available here. So we have the objective, we have a list of all of the activities, and you can actually click through and view them yourself as a student. So if you're not sure, you know, what the video looks like, you just click on this and it'll take you to that activity. And so you can check it out before you teach your students. We also have solutions and problem guides for all of our coding exercises. So you don't have to, you can easily kind of bring that up as a reference if you're helping students out. We have lesson vocabulary. We have handouts. So if there are any kind of offline activities or supplemental kind of handouts for a lesson, that will be listed here. And then we also just have planning notes. So our suggestions on how to prepare to teach this, as well as teaching and learning strategies. So things that you might do to open and close your lesson, as well as all of the activities. And we actually have timestamps here, which is really helpful to help you kind of understand how you might best kind of pace a lesson. We've listed any prior knowledge that students need for a specific lesson. We also have the video slides, so you can, you know, choose to have students watch the video, or you can actually lecture yourself over these slides. These are also really good resources for students if they're going through an exercise and they're not really sure what to do next. You can point them to these slides. Then we have discussion questions and any standards. So that's the lesson plan, and you can definitely check that out to help you plan your instruction. Next part of the toolbox I want to look at is code review. So this is where you'll actually be able to look at student code. Again, I want to look at...
Evelyn?
Yes?
I have a question about the progress tracking. Is that free, pro?
So that is available on Pro. Yeah.
Okay.
The lesson plans that I was showing, the first 5 lesson plans of any course is available for free, and then the rest of those are on Pro. Awesome. So then I'm going to check out the code review. So this is, again, on the code review section, and actually I'm going to look at the middle school workshop. So this is where you have access to your students' work, and you can actually view and give feedback to anything that your students have submitted. So I have a list of all of the different submitted assignments from my students, and to view them, and again, I'm not going to look at fast grades, which is a pro tool, but you can go to grade mode. And basically this is going to take me through all of your different exercises, and I can give students feedback and take a look at their work. And it'll take me, we'll go ahead and enter right here. Okay, so now you can see I have access to my students' activity. I can see the code. I can actually play with the code here. So let's say that, you know, maybe this isn't working quite as intended and I'm not really sure what's going on. I can actually, you know, comment out specific lines, and this won't save. So your student won't see that you've done anything to their program. But this is a really great way to kind of, if you need to debug something on your students, for your students, you can do that just right here. And then once you kind of understand what's going on, you can give your students some suggestions. But I can run the code. I can check the code. So I actually broke your program. Again, you can see that all of the test cases have passed. And then what I can do is I can actually grade. So we do have these test cases that work pretty well. They do catch a lot of student errors, and we'll keep students from being able to submit until they've satisfied the requirements of the assignment. However, there are definitely things that the auto graders maybe can't check for. So things like, are students using good naming conventions? Are they using specific variable names? Are they commenting their code in a good way, in a helpful, descriptive way? So we can't necessarily check using these auto graders, but you as a teacher can kind of spot check and look for these different pieces that you want to, these standards that you want to kind of uphold in your students' code. So what I can do here is I can actually leave feedback on this assignment. And it's on this grade tab right here. I have a few options. Basically, I can set the score. So you can see that this is out of 5 points. I could award full credit to this student, so give them 5 out of 5. I could also give them partial credit. Maybe comments are really, really important to me, and this program doesn't have any comments. So I can, give this student 4 out of 5, and then I can say, please comment your code. And then I have options here. So I can either mark as finalized, and so basically the student then doesn't have another chance to submit. This basically says I finalized your grade. This is the last time that you had to kind of go through it and make any changes. Or I can mark as needs work. And basically this allows the student to see that you sent it back. They haven't gotten full credit yet. And if they want to, they can then go ahead and add the comments to their code and then resubmit and hopefully get that full credit. So I can mark as needs work. And then it automatically is going to take me to my next student, the next assignment. And so then I can grade again. Again, I can just click award full credit. I can leave feedback, or I can, give partial credit. So it'll take me to the next student. And that's how that works. So that is the grading tools. I'm going back to the toolbox. I'm not going to go into create too much because it is a pretty big place. But this is where you can actually create playlists or custom assignments for your students. So you can then assign this on top of the CodeHS course. So let's say that you have, some advanced high flyers and you really want to give them a bunch of challenge problems to work on, or maybe you have students that really need more practice than is built into the course. And so what you can do here is you can actually create different playlists. You can either bring in and write your own problems, or you can visit the problem bank. And this is our repository of all of these different questions that all of our teachers have written. And so you can actually just search, you know, by tag. You can look up different concepts and say, you know, I really want my students, they need extra functions practice. So you can actually then search, you know, by JavaScript, you can, or by Python, I want to see all the Python functions practice, and then you can add it to your playlist and give those students either the extra practice or the challenge problems that you want them to complete. Great. I'm not going to go through the rest of the toolbox right now, just because I want to make sure that we have time to answer everybody's questions. But the one thing I will say is this support section of the toolbox is a really good way if you're not sure how to do something. We have a knowledge base, and that's a bunch of articles written by us, just basically how to do certain things. If you're not sure, you know, can I reset a student problem? You can just check out these articles and just search for the topic that you're looking for. We also have a teacher forum. This is really awesome. If you post in it, we have a lot of awesome teachers in the forum, and maybe a problem that you're seeing in your classroom, somebody else has solved already. So you can ask any questions there. And then the last thing is you can click this contact us, and it's going to open a chat window with our support team. So you can just send a message to the support team and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So that is my overview, and we can jump into answering some questions now. So the first thing that I did want to talk about is we did have the question talking about the integration between the middle school and high school curriculum. So if you use the middle school curriculum, what happens to the student in high school? So that depends. Basically, student accounts, all of their work stays with the individual student account, as long as they're not creating a separate like middle school and high school account. So they will have access to all of their courses and their work from middle school to high school. And I think somebody noticed that progress does transfer for certain things. So like if a student has solved a problem in their middle school course, there shouldn't be some overlap, but if there were, basically like a student could always look back at like their solution. And
I'm going to post Georgia resources as well, because it will give you links to all of the courses that would be for Georgia. So the middle school courses, it gives the high school courses, which would be the 2 AP courses and Introduction to Digital Technology. And then we also have a GACE prep too, if you want to, if you're not certified for computer science yet, we have a teacher certification prep course as well. And then a few other things on there just for fun, but I'm going to put that in the chat now. And on the topic of things repeating themselves from middle school to high school, we were kind of aware of that. So what we did for like the middle school, we did in Python, which is Tracy. And then like IDT is in JavaScript. And then if you're going to take like AP Computer Science Principles, we actually have a choice now. So we've always, but we have a beta that is AP Computer Science Principles in Python, and that'll be available in July. So you have a lot of options. So you can try different languages with students, or you can just build upon the language that they've learned already.
Awesome.
Yes, Ellen, I've certified to teach computer science, and that was before they changed it, but it was like, there's nothing out there. There's nothing helpful out there. So I was very, very happy to kind of create that course for people who are trying to take that test.
Great. And then, yeah, we had a question on Google Classroom. So for Google Classroom, we have rostering integration. And I am pulling up actually an article. I'm just going to show this whole integrations collection. So I'm linking to all of our rostering information, and definitely get in contact with us if you have any questions. Will our contact I'm not sure if our contact information is shared, but I can leave my email address here. And I'll also leave yours, Jennifer.
And if you ever forget, there's also just a hello@codehs.com, and we'll get that to the right person. Does anyone have any tips for Elizabeth? I know I've been working, I work in MS Teams sometimes too, and it's a lot. You guys can help each other out with these last couple minutes as well, but definitely keep thinking of something else that you might want us to answer for you.
Oh yeah, and then there was a question on certifications. So yeah, Jennifer, do you want to talk about the certifications that we prepare students for with our cybersecurity, since you're the cyber expert?
And the certifications are definitely high school level. They're not the middle school level, but these middle school courses will definitely prepare them to take courses that could be certified by us. So we do have like the cybersecurity certification. We've got one for web design. We've got one for JavaScript, Java, and there's another one, and Python. So we do have those certifications. They're through us, CodeHS, and which if students start using us in middle school, they'll be definitely prepared to take them by high school. And they are available for students to take to basically put on resumes and put on, college applications and prove, in a test format that they know that they've understood our courses and stuff and the material.
Yeah, any other questions that we can answer? Oh, we have a question about building our own courses. Are we able to allow people to join?
I think.
Do you know how to go down to people?
Teresa might be able to do that.
So grading tools are available in the free version. The grading that I showed, grade mode, is free. There is a fast grade mode that is just a more powerful kind of suite of tools. You can save responses to things. So rather than having to type out to every student who doesn't use comments, please use comments. You can kind of have these saved responses that you send out to people. There are ways that you can kind of sort what you're grading, control, I only want to look at this specific exercise. Yeah, so that's kind of the power tools that you get with Pro. And Ryan, it sounds like Teresa can give you access to speak.
Okay, well, I can ask I didn't want to interrupt. Are you done answering?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, my question was referencing kind of like building our own courses through your tools or remixing existing courses. And this kind of stems from my experience checking out your Python course, which I think is really good overall. But the Turtles module sort of jumps the gun on some of the concepts that are later in the course. So if I was going to be teaching it, I would probably be bouncing around a little bit between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, do we have the abilities within the LMS functionality of CodeHS to sort of like pick and choose which modules come in which order as we build out a custom course?
Yeah, so I guess the best way to do that, if you're talking about remixing existing content, would be to set up your assignments. So I can, let's see. I'm going to go to this course. Basically, you can see that I have a list of all of these assignments, and I can basically move things around. So I can, move this up or like in a lesson, or I can move to another lesson, or I can actually just delete it and not teach it. And then what you can actually do is within these courses, you can add additional content. I don't have any playlists on this account, but I can actually go to the playlist bank, and it would be the same thing if this was your playlist. Let's see. I'll do this voting lesson. So then I can choose which course that I want to add it to. I'll go ahead and add it to the foundations. And I can see that I have one section that's enrolled. I can set the different settings here, and then I click assign. And then I can go to this course. Oops, I'm gonna have to go. And now you can see that I've added this lesson. So that's how you can have students kind of toggle between your content and the content that is like existing in the CodeHS course.
And I'll ask one more question, then bow out. Thanks for letting me join through voice. Can you guys talk a little bit more about differences between, like everybody's really concerned about budget this year. Talk about the differences in functionality between free and paid.
Yeah, so I can, we can actually post something, maybe our plans page, but I would say everything on free allows you to, set up a section, enroll students, grade student code, and I would say pro is really where you're going to start, things that are going to help you from I'd say a lot of like the administrative duties, I guess, of being a teacher. So grading is faster. You have access to an actual gradebook in CodeHS. All of the tracking, like the different student tracking visualizations you have access to then, as well as these kind of the lesson plans, all of the offline stuff, all of the lessons versus just lesson plans for the first 5. So all of that is going to be under our pro plan. And I can actually just bring up the plans page. That can list kind of all of the different plans. And
yes, we definitely. Sorry, I was just jumping in there while you're doing that. Sorry. We have like you can absolutely run a class on the free version. It's just you might have to go around a few different ways. But someone asks, can you do the course creation? So you can add on modules, but there's less reordering options, right, Evelyn? Evelyn, right?
Yeah, so basically you can still assign new content. It's just that where, if I have pro, so I can say, I actually want students to do this before they do the computer basics. That is a pro tool. Otherwise, you're just telling students, okay, go to the bottom of your course and you'll see the voting and elections lesson. In terms of gradebooks, so we do have grade passback on a few different platforms. I'm not sure exactly what you use, but the easiest thing, kind of the way we integrate with like all gradebooks is this is a pro feature, but basically you can export your gradebook to, a CSV file or an Excel file, and then, bring it into whatever grade system that you have. A question on the GACE prep course. Get in touch with us. I'll leave a link here. That's the best way to get in touch with us and get a quote on any of the PD course costs. We have about 5 more minutes left. If anybody else has questions or just wants us to, revisit a tool, we can do that for you.
If you want to go on to the Georgia Resources tab thing that I sent, the link that I put up there, I did put an option to check out the beta for some of our new courses. They are high school courses, But if you want to get the jump on what they look like, we have the beta versions available, which basically you would join in as a student. You can't assign anything yet, but they will be available in July to assign to students.
And I'm sending a link. Basically, this is a link to our help course, or our help knowledge base that has links to all of the betas that are currently out. And so there are links there that you can basically use to join whatever betas you're interested in. Like Jennifer said, you can join as a student. You won't be able to make sections until we release these courses in July. But you can certainly check out the content and decide if this is something you're interested in teaching. Great. A few more minutes. Anybody has any questions?
The Arduino one is really cool. That one and the microbit. Microbit would be like middle school. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
Arduino.
microbit I would say is probably more appropriate for middle school, but Arduino is definitely accessible for the right students.
I like the microbit. It's so much easier. Arduino, like wires and stuff. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Board. This session is being recorded and will be available afterwards. I think there might be a little bit of lag time. That's awesome to hear.
And definitely let us know, like send us feedback, you know, the Jennifer at CodeHS or even just hello at CodeHS as you're going through these middle school courses, because they are new. If there's something missing, if there's something you'd like to see added or improved, or if you just want regular, you know, any kind of feedback that you have, definitely let us know.
Thanks, Ellen.
And while everyone's leaving questions, thank y'all for presenting a lot of information. I use it and love it, so I'll recommend it to everyone. But thank y'all for presenting the CodeHS information.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Ryan. And actually, one of the course betas you can check out is we are releasing the Python 3 course. So right now it's Python version 2, but we are pushing out the updated Python version. And it's going to be the same as the Python course, but using that version 3, not version 2. The new one will be available this fall. So all of our betas that are out right now, they will be launched in July as, you know, fully available for you to teach for students. Just right now, these are in the beta version. Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Yeah, so the beta version, if you look at the articles, let's see. I'm gonna actually, I believe I'm sharing my screen. So basically what you have is these are the webinar articles, but within the articles, there's these links on how to access the course beta. So you basically would just click on the link. It's in a different window, so I guess you can't see it. But basically, if you just follow these instructions here on each article, it will show you how to enroll in the beta course.
All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. Thank you so much. Believe that is it. So if you have last minute questions, definitely pop them in.
Yeah, and definitely hello or Evelyn or Jennifer at CodeHS. That's the easiest way to get in touch. Or you can use the chat button when you're in your teacher account. You can always use the like get in touch. Great. Great, thank you, everybody. For the beta, I'll just post the this will link to all of the articles that have the course beta information. So just click into the article for the course that you're looking at, and it'll have instructions on how to access the beta. All right, I think we'll hop out now. But thank you, everybody, for joining and for asking all these awesome questions.
Yeah, have a great day, guys.